A very good evening and a warm welcome to our first edition of UBC News Tonight on this 24th day of August 2023. I'm Loreen Masika Kazimoto and my colleague Elizabeth Nakakoni on sign language interpretation. Now, before we get into tonight's news bulletin, let's first take a look at the top stories tonight. Missions 15 factories and breaks ground for 9 more in Mbale. Premier Nabanja commissions a 57 billion shillings PPDA Roads Authority tower. Human organ donation and transplant law to guard against organs theft. And Wagner mercenary chief presumed dead in a Russia plane crash. Good evening once again. President Yoweri Museveni has announced a ban against importation of second-hand clothing in Uganda. Museveni says the continuous importation of such clothes in Uganda denies market to locally manufactured clothes. This was at Mbale Industrial Park, where he commissioned 15 factories and officiated groundbreaking for 9 more factories. We have the details.
The person you see arriving here at Sino Mbale Industrial Park is the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. He is here to see for himself the progress of what he started way back in 2018. One of his stopovers is at the textile manufacturing plant, one of the 40 factories creating jobs here. Both the Chinese and Ugandans employed here welcome him in style. As he arrives at the venue for the main event, the youthful beneficiaries of employment creation here appreciate him through entertainment. Behind this dance is a serious message of local manufacturing that could see imported products substituted, including second-hand clothes.
The investors who invested in the textiles, because now they have given me strength to chase away second-hand clothes. Because there is nobody who will stand in my way when he sees this picture of these children here who have got jobs from textile factories and then start arguing in favor of second-hand clothes.
He says continuous importation of second-hand clothes denies the market for those locally made here.
I therefore want to thank the investors. Don't be discouraged, we are going to sort it out. We are not going to allow these second-hand clothes to enter our country anymore. Omuzungu wafa. Eyo ewaabwe eyo ebigoye byonna byabadde ayambala abisuula awo kati obaani abijjayo n'abiteeka mu ndibota ne babisindikira abafirika munange.
To this effect, he wants government departments and agencies to purchase locally made products as opposed to importation.
The Minister of Energy is here. The cables, the meters must be bought from our factories here and the ones in Kampala. Anybody who does not would have to go and look after his goats or chicken at home. Agenda arunde embuzize.
He says this will increase more industrialization in the already established industrial parks. Ministers agree with him.
Mr. President, we're talking about manufacturing of percolators. Mr. President, we're talking about manufacturing of jeans. Your Excellency, we're talking about manufacturing of windows. Your Excellency, we're talking about manufacturing of bed sheets.
I want to assure the chairman of the industrial park that we have security. If one line faces a problem, then we will get power from Naluvale.
You may recall when you appointed me as the Minister of Finance, I came to you in Entebbe and I said, why have you appointed me in this portfolio? And what do you expect me to do? I will remind you if you have forgotten, Your Excellency. You said one word, industrialization.
Earlier, the Chinese ambassador to Uganda, Zhang Lizong, reaffirmed the Chinese partnership in development with Uganda without strings attached.
Cooperation between China and Uganda in the development field has no limits. We are good brothers, good partners on a path to modernization.
This is just the beginning. You know, every month we have a new factory set up in Bali Industrial Park. Just the beginning. Now, total, we have more than 40 factories.
Area leaders equally welcome the developments at Mbale Industrial Park.
When he puts a ban on second-hand clothes, he is doing a very good job because he's providing market for the products made in Uganda by the tailors to be consumed by the internal market, that are the Ugandans, and then the external market.
The president commissioned 15 factories and officiated groundbreaking for 9 more factories at this industrial park. Henry Okrut, UBC, Mbale.
Now, the Parliamentary Committee on Infrastructure has been suspended from investigating the digital number plate saga involving the company's capability to handle the project. The Member of Parliament for Nakawa East, who is also the Infrastructure Committee member, Ronald Nsubuga, revealed to UBC that their chairperson communicated to them after receiving a letter from the Office of the Deputy Speaker.
I don't want to pretend that I know much about this project.
This week, the ministers in charge of digital number plates project appeared before the Infrastructure Committee to answer queries raised against the Russian company contracted to undertake the project. The Minister for Internal Affairs, Kahinda Utafire, denied any knowledge about the Russian company joint stock company Global Security. Meanwhile, the Minister for Security, Jimmy Muwezi, defended the Russian company. It's from after this clash that the Deputy Speaker, in a letter that was not accessed by media, that the Parliamentary Committee on Infrastructure was suspended from further investigations until the two ministers harmonized their positions.
So the Speaker says that we should hold and allow ministers to harmonize. But our problem, the problem of the committee was, how can such an issue of digital number plates of almost $1 trillion shillings go up to a time of execution when actually line ministries like Internal Affairs do not know about the issue? Now that is where the problem is. We don't mind whether they are going to harmonize.
According to the MP Nakawa East, their investigations also doubted the capabilities of the company contracted to undertake the multi-billion project.
These guys were told by June 1st to have imported 50,000 number plates. We visited them, there is no single number plate they have ever imported. Now, we did not carry out due diligence to know whether they have the capacity. The Minister of Internal Affairs tells us that those that went, his members that went for due diligence, found actually nothing in Russia where they went. These guys only have 2 computers. That's all they have. And they have a prototype, call it a prototype, of a car tracker, bigger than a brick that they want to use on our cars. How can you use a car tracker as big as a brick? That's what they wanted to use, to demonstrate to us. And it never worked. They had just 1 single unit. And here we are, telling we are ready to begin implementation of this. This is unexistent. It is a move to defraud Ugandans by some of the key people around the president.
The MPs further revealed that the charge of shillings 700,000 from 150,000 set by the company for the number plate is abnormal.
Now, these guys are using installations of police. All the infrastructure they are using is that of police. How can you hack into a system without permission? First and foremost, this system that police is using is from China. China has never, at any one time, given the government of Uganda and that of Russia authority to hack into their system. We have national data. I don't know how a Russian company comes into the system of police and hacks into our national data. And all they have to give us is just a mere software. This software on the market, it's 2.4 billion Uganda shillings. They are selling it to us at 93 billion. When you look at the cost of registration number, it's subnormal. A border costs a mere 4.8 million. The number plate is going at 714,000.
Uganda takes a move to migrate from analog to digital number plates, mainly to increase security of the motor vehicles. But there's been a controversy surrounding the company contracted to undertake the project that has delayed the commencement of the project. Philip Aguta for UBC News at Parliament.
Uganda Cancer Institute has opened a new advanced cancer treatment called VMAT. The new machine is to deliver treatment more accurately, shorten duration of treatment, and improve chances of curing cancer.
Uganda Cancer Institute, in collaboration with the Washington University, are introducing an easy and advanced treatment for cancer. The new technique will save time in the cancer treatment in increasing access to the number of patients being treated daily.
One of the most important benefits, as Professor Zah was mentioned, it saves time. We can do the treatment in 2 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes. This will cut time from 15 to 25 minutes that we've been using for the technique we've been using since last year when we started that. We can also shorten the overall duration of treatment without increasing side effects on the side of patients.
With the increasing number of cancer patients at this facility, work backlog has been a hindrance. Dr. Lutu Israel is optimistic that this equipment will eventually reduce the number of patients seeking for radiation treatment abroad.
That what is being done in the US is being done at the UCI. So Ugandans shouldn't get worried, and those shouldn't even go out to seek for treatment. But
medical advancement in a very short period of time, so that speaks to the quality and the talent of the team here in Uganda. In a short period of time, they will be able to deliver, I would say, the same quality of advanced technology as we do in the United States. That is great news for the patients. It's going to mean less side effects for the patients.
The procurement process was supported by the government. Dr. Lutu highlights how much patients will part with to access the radiation services.
This is an equipment by the Ugandan government. So we've cannot afford will always get the treatment.
Radiation therapy kills cancer cells or slows their growth by damaging their DNA. Lydia Chomkama, UBC News.
Kabarole and Chenjejo district leadership is calling upon the government and Ministry of Health to put in place a special intervention to tackle the surging numbers of HIV/AIDS in the district. The two district leaderships made the remarks during the river blindness elimination celebration in Itwara Focus at Kabende Primary School, Kabarole district.
Uganda has eliminated river blindness in two districts of Kabarole and Chenjejo in the Itwara Focus. The Itwara Focus had the highest number of people that were affected by river blindness, close to 110,000 people in 120 villages both in Kabarole and Chenjejo district. And to date, all the villages are free of the disease. The country representative Kata Center Uganda, Edrina Muheki, says that since the disease is eliminated, the community should be vigilant and report any suspected case.
It's not only to celebrate that achievement. We are here to remind the communities, to remind the political and the technical leaders that although we eliminated the transmission of the disease, it is still possible for that disease to come back. So we want to sensitize and increase the awareness about the need to continue looking out for any possible recrudescence of this disease.
This disease had really devastated the area and the people were scared. But as we speak now, it is story. And we are appreciative to Kata Center and to the Ministry of Health and also to the government of Uganda.
Some of the health experts on vector control shed light on some of the signs and symptoms and how the disease is spread.
And also because of the itching, people feel so uncomfortable that scratching with hands is not sufficient. Some of them reach out for stones or broken pots or maize cobs and they really scratch the skin. And by doing that, the skin loses color and it becomes like a leopard skin. So that is one of the signs of river blindness, having leopard skin or having lizard skin.
So we call it river blindness. So because when this adult worms produces the worms, I mean the microfloria, the young worms, they move everywhere. They move everywhere, the whole part of the body, even going to the brain. So unfortunately, some of them find themselves in the eye. Now in the eye, we have the entrance which attracts light to go to the retina to be interpreted that I'm seeing Joachim, I'm seeing so and so. So now, these microfloria, when they are dying, they die in the lens. Meaning they cut off the light, which is supposed to be coming from what I identify you. So eventually this person now becomes blind. That's why we call it river blindness, because this blindness associated with the river.
During the river blindness elimination celebrations, the district representatives expressed concern on the increasing number of HIV/AIDS infection that is ravaging the region.
Now that we have solved the challenge of river blindness, what remains, and it's a major challenge, is HIV/AIDS. As a region, we are now leading in the whole country. My district, Chenjejo, is number 3rd with 7% infection. Kabarole district is number 2nd. And the Fort Portal City, which are our neighbors and our people, commute every day and they work and they sleep here. It is at 14.5%. This is so bad. We call upon the government to make a special intervention in this area to see really that this scourge is contained.
HIV is still a problem. Kabarole and the city, our prevalence is about 16% now, compared to the national average. So HIV, and mainly where we are in Kabende, I'll call it a food basket in the sorts, where we have a lot of produce, and where you find a lot of produce, this follows, you have a lot of activity following. Money follows wine and women. So you end up with dining and wining. Usually sex is one of the outcomes, and HIV is still a problem.
Kata Center, Uganda, focuses mainly on river blindness elimination, stating that only 2 foci are remaining in the districts bordering South Sudan, that is in northern Uganda, and Kasese, bordering DRC. Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
The First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni, has urged ardent supporters of the environment and wildlife conservation to sensitize and educate the population, especially the young generation, on the importance of people living in peace together with all God's creation. The First Lady, who is also the patron of the Gamba Island Chimpanzee Sanctuary, was hosting Dr. Jane Goodall and all members of the Wildlife Conservation Trust to exchange ideas regarding the future of conservation in Uganda. The meeting that was held at State House Nakasero was also attended by Diana Museveni Charemera, an ardent supporter of tourism and wildlife, who the First Lady introduced as the one who will be representing her on conservation issues whenever she is able.
The First Lady, who is also the patron of the Gamba Island Chimpanzee Sanctuary, was hosting Dr. Jane Goodall and members of the Wildlife Conservation Trust to exchange ideas regarding the future of conservation in Uganda. The meeting held at State House Nakasero was also attended by Diana Museveni Charemera, an ardent supporter of tourism and wildlife, and who the First Lady introduced as the one who will be representing her on conservation issues whenever she's unable. She said that in a world which is becoming more dominated by human beings as the population increases, especially in Uganda and in Africa generally, human beings need to understand and appreciate the fact that they are not the only creation on this planet, but that there are, in fact, different types of life found on planet Earth, including plants, animals, microorganisms, and other organisms.
I think we need to understand that 90% of the population of Uganda do not know the significance of everything in the natural environment that they live in. And that is what concerns us.
Mrs. Museveni welcomed Dr. Jane Goodall, a world-renowned primatologist and conservationist, and also the founder of the Jane Goodall Institute, who is in Uganda, to join in the commemoration of the 25th anniversary of Gamba Island Chimpanzee Sanctuary. She said that Uganda appreciates Dr. Jane Goodall and honors her for the stand she has made in life to always remind people about living together in peace with wildlife on planet Earth. She applauded the work being done by the Chimpanzee Trust, including sensitizing and educating the communities, and called for more of this to be done as a country. The First Lady noted that the globe is undergoing a period of massive extinction of various species of animals and plants, largely due to human activity. She said that people should be told that wildlife is negatively affected when we human beings pollute the land, the air, the soil, and the water.
Our people need to know, and urgently too, that the activities destroy, degrades, or isolates natural habitats to the detriment of wildlife. But in the long run, they even disrupt the quality of life for us as human beings as well.
But also to thank Dr. Jane for the wonderful contribution and commitment that they've given to conservation beyond the Gamba Island Sanctuary, but even the other conservancies around the country. We appreciate and also thank the team from the ministry, from the management of the trust for a job well done. If you look at the budgets, 1.5 billion, this we should be able to resolve. And I think our commitment is let's go sit UWA and the team and resolve these budgets.
Dr. Jane Goodall said that it is becoming increasingly important to bring together people who care to discuss and share how to try and solve problems that the world environment is going through, such as habitats being lost and polluted, animal species disappearing, terrible loss of biodiversity, and climate change, among others.
If we get together and if we take action, then we can start slowing down climate change, slowing down loss of biodiversity, destruction of habitat, pollution, and so forth.
In his report, the Executive Director, Ngamba Island Chimpanzee Sanctuary and Chimpanzee Trust, Dr. Joshua Rukundo, said they seek for government support to address challenges being faced by the sanctuary. These include animal welfare, which requires over Uganda shilling 1.5 billion annually. The renovation and improvement of infrastructure requires Uganda shilling 1 billion, while purchase of a new 40-seat passenger transport vessel to address the current lack of adequate water transportation on Lake Victoria is estimated at Uganda shilling 1.11 billion. Others at the meeting were Lily Ajoravo, the CEO, Uganda Tourism Institute, Dr. James Msinguzi from Uganda Wildlife Education Center, and Board Chair Chimpanzee Trust Fund, Sam Mwanda, the Executive Director, Uganda Wildlife Authority, Anna Ramadhan and Diana from the Jane Goodall Institute, USA and Australia, plus other officials from the Chimpanzee Sanctuary and Jane Goodall Institute. Reporting for UBC, Baguma William.
Thank you, Baguma William. Now, Prime Minister Robina Nabanja has commissioned a skyscraper jointly constructed by Public Procurement and Disposal of Assets and Uganda Road Fund in Kampala. Construction began in November 28, 2017 and was completed in August 2021 at a total of 57 billion shillings.
Premier Robina Nabanja has lauded President Yoweri Museveni for assenting to the amendment of PPDA Act and asked PPDA to deliver on its mandate through effective and timely procurement process.
The government wants to see value for money through public procurement by ensuring that efficient procurement processes are adhered to. You are aware that in 2021 there are some blankets which are still stuck in our stores. Those blankets, I think, were rags. Yes, they were rags, which I refused to donate to people. Ugandans deserve better, isn't it? And so, you told me that you want us to collaborate. I'll make sure that we have quarterly meetings as
This was at a function where she commissioned a skyscraper in Kampala and asked all government agencies to form partnerships while setting up development infrastructure. She commended Public Procurement and Disposal of Assets and Uganda Road Fund for pulling off the joint venture effort.
I want once again congratulating PPDA and Uganda Road Fund for putting up such a state-of-the-art structure. I want to request you to maintain this collaborative spirit. We still have other offices. I can see this is too big for you.
The Minister of State for Finance, Planning and Urban Development, Amos Lugolobe, represented the Finance Minister, Matia Kasaija, and applauded the two agencies for demonstrating collaborative efforts. Lugolobe also disclosed that some loans have not been performing well because of infights, and the government continues to lose money through delays.
We owe it to the country to ensure that the public procurement disposal processes are an engine of growth and development. We shall leave no stone unturned to ensure that this is achieved.
The Executive Director, PPDA Benson Turiamwe, says they are digitalizing all systems to fight corruption. He lauded President Yoweri Museveni for his efforts to transform public procurement and commended the Prime Minister for her zeal to fight corruption.
Digitalization, Right Honourable Prime Minister, will promote transparency and efficiency within the procurement processes across the government and eliminate the physical interface between the buyers, who are government entities, and the bidders.
The Executive Director, Uganda Road Fund, Dr. Ingenia Andrew Naimanye, thanked the government for enabling them to acquire their own home and promised to build on this to serve the country better.
All I can say is that there are 3 institutions in the road sector, Ministry of Works, Uganda National Roads Authority, and the Road Fund. Right Honourable Prime Minister, it's only the Road Fund of all road sector institutions that has got its own office building. It's a huge achievement.
The collaborative procurement has helped in the long term, saving on rent and saving government funds that would have been spent. The tower has 3 basement levels for 153 parking spaces, 7 floors of office space and training rooms, plus 2 floors of 305-seater conference halls.
2, 1, Ongaro! Congratulations, PPT URF, for this.
Mary Namkose, UBC News.
It's super fast internet. Oh, it's a super camera. It's a super battery.
Phone battery full.
Yeah, it's a super deal. Get the Capote Super from MTN now at a reduced initial deposit of only 49,000 shillings and pay the balance in Pola for as low as 833 shillings per day. Grab this Super Capote deal this Christmas and get 2 GB of free MTN data every month for 8 months. Get the Capote Super now from any MTN shop countrywide. Everywhere you go, MTN. Regulated by UCC.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
Hello, darling.
Hi, Granny.
What did you do this weekend?
Well, on Friday, I went on a science trip with my classmates to Windy to see the gorillas. Then we watched the cup final in London. On Saturday, my friends and I met up to hunt some dragons again. Also, I taught the vacuum cleaner and the TV this new dance everyone's doing. They're really getting into it. And on Sunday, I went to bed watching the world from space.
With Airtel 5G's lightning-fast speeds and seamless connectivity, you won't believe what's next.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Uganda's oil and gas activities are undertaken in line with the updated environment legislation and benchmarked on international best practice standards in order to continuously ensure coexistence between the oil activities and Uganda's rich biodiversity. Following the award of the Environment and Social Impact Assessment certificates for the Kingfisher, Tilenga and East African crude oil pipeline projects, various environmental and social management plans have also been developed to ensure sustainable development of the projects. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda is working with other regulatory bodies to monitor all oil and gas activities to enhance compliance and environment protection during oil activities. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda, creating lasting value in Uganda's oil journey.
Sebo.
Yes?
This is the bill.
What?
Malaria testing, 10,000. Treatment, 100,000 since we put on drip.
Hey, Musao, can you read this for me? Before I brought my wife here, I'd already spent money on buying herbal medicine and drugs from the pharmacy, which didn't work.
But Sebo, the government gave out mosquito nets. Doesn't your family use them?
We got the mosquito nets, but they got holes and we didn't know what to do.
Protect your loved ones from malaria. Sow your mosquito nets whenever they get damaged to keep the mosquitoes away. Ensure all nets are tied up every morning to avoid damaging them. Ensure that everyone in your family sleeps under a treated mosquito net every night, whether it is a cold or hot season. Together, we can chase malaria out of Uganda. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from Global Fund.
Hello, darling.
Hi, Granny.
What did you do this weekend?
Well, on Friday, I went on a science trip with my classmates to Windy to see the gorillas.
Then we watched the cup final in London. On Saturday, my friends and I met up to hunt some dragons again. Also, I taught the vacuum cleaner and the TV this new dance everyone's doing. They're really getting into it. And on Sunday, I went to bed watching the world from space.
With Airtel 5G's lightning-fast speed and seamless connectivity, you won't believe what's next.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Welcome back from the break, and we're glad that you're still with us. The Ministry of Land is set to conduct a Land Awareness Week in Lango aimed at enlightening communities about their land rights and policies. Minister for Lands Judith Nabakova says the information gathered during this event will serve to validate various land-related concerns. A joint council resolution will be passed to guide actions by local government, and a petition outlining the key findings of the Land Awareness Week 2023 will be presented to the government. Nabakova has underscored the importance of revoking illegally acquired land titles in order to restore order and integrity in the system.
The Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development has collaborated with 7 district local governments in Lango region to host the 7th Land Awareness Week from August 28th to September 1st, 2023. This event serves as a platform for addressing emerging issues that inform policy reviews, while it also features initiatives to promote awareness about land governance and environmental conservation.
This is achieved through information dissemination of the policy and regulatory framework on land and environment, consciousness building and dialogues on the regional specific issues impacting on land rights and sustainable environment management issues.
Similar events have been successfully held in regions such as Acholi, Teso, Karamoja, West Nile, Central and Kigezi. These events have played a crucial role in resolving disputes, with illegal eviction being the most frequently reported challenge.
In the ministry, we are now emphasizing cleaning of our land information system, but we are also emphasizing preventing of double titling and identifying of double plotting. We are also emphasizing the issue of due diligence among the duty bearers or the conveyance belt. We are expecting our officers right from the district level and the area land committee up to our ministerial zonal offices to always do due diligence before a certificate of title comes out. And we are also going to ensure that those titles that were made illegally have to be cancelled.
The Land Awareness Week shall be delivered through community dialogues, mobile legal aid clinics, social media interactions, and tree planting, among other innovative methods. Persons living with disabilities are an integral part of the event and have specific concerns that they believe should be addressed to ensure enhanced inclusion.
And you know, land is a very critical factor of production that everyone, irrespective of your status, whether you have disability or you don't have disability, you must enjoy the right to own land. We have started training persons with disabilities on the issues of agriculture, kitchen gardening. even if you have a disability, your disability cannot stop you from producing some crop for the family. But what we are calling upon the government to do is to, first of all, protect persons with disabilities in terms of accessing land. Because there is a taboo, there is a thinking that when you have a disability, then you cannot do agriculture, which is really not true. We have seen persons with disabilities engaging in agriculture, and if there are impediments, then it means the government should come out with a solution. If it is about the tools that should be used, then the government should come up with a better modification of tools.
District political and enforcement agencies, as well as technical leaders and individuals holding land titles, are strongly encouraged to participate because the event provides a valuable opportunity to verify title documents. The theme of the Awareness Week is promoting land rights and inclusion for enhanced production and sustainable development. A similar event focusing on extractives and mining will be held in Busia district to address pertinent issues related to these factors. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News in Kampala.
The chairperson, Luwero District NGO Monitoring Committee, also the Assistant Chief Administrative Officer, Farida Nagadia, has asked Luwero District NGO Forum to be more active in executing their mandate in ensuring that non-government organizations in the district don't deviate from their stated missions and goals. Nagadia was speaking at a one-day brainstorming meeting on the operationalization of district NGOs during a meeting held at Naiga Hotel in Kasana, Luwero Town.
The chairperson, Luwero District NGO Monitoring Committee, Farida Nagadia, has advised all NGOs working in Luwero District to refocus and include the boy child in their projects.
You have to monitor your projects that you have implemented. You see, you do, you meet, they were done, I went, you know, they took a lot. But actually, it is better to feel safe for your job and mine. Let me do mine. And when you have done yours.
Nagadia explained to the stakeholders the roles of district NGO monitoring committees and asked NGOs to integrate environmental issues and participate in important national days like Independence Day and others.
So please, I advocate for the boy child. Please find projects that can handle these boys. We still have a chance. We can still handle them, just like we have tried for the girl child. We can still handle that boy.
The Director, Community Development Initiatives, John Seguja, says the meeting has been called to map out ways of how best NGOs in the district can work along with government to serve people better.
Don't nurture this boy. He's the boy who is going to disturb your daughter. So as the mindset, if you change the mindset of that boy, shall reach where we expect ourselves to reach.
The Luwero District Internal Security Officer, Captain Hilary Twesije Neringie, observed that not skilling and mentoring the boy child has negative security implications to all Ugandans.
And we have discovered that actually there are a number of gaps that we have had before, which we have to patch up so that we can move together harmoniously.
The NGO officials and managers that attended the Community Development Initiative meeting resolved to design programs that will accommodate the boy child, read and comprehend the NGO Act, and to work closely with district local governments to enable them to complement government programs ably.
UBC News Tonight takes a very short break, but we'll return with more stories after these messages.
And in talking news, MTN has improved on their data voice bundles. You can now call across all networks for the same price. We've talked to several eyewitnesses on the ground, and this is what one of them had to say. Amos, did you hear about the MTN daily voice bundles? So, to join many more other Ugandans enjoying these MTN daily voice bundles, dial *100 *21 hash or use the My MTN app to start enjoying. Hey, stay tuned for more offers from MTN.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Molt Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates back to ground. Sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money, instant, secure, borderless.
The Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, together with International Growth Center, will host the 7th High-Level Economic Growth Forum under the theme, Strengthening Uganda's Competitiveness to Foster Accelerated Economic Growth. The forum will take place on the 24th and 25th of August 2023 at Kampala Serena Hotel. The 7th EGF will focus on global economic development and economic growth in Uganda, domestic revenue mobilization, boosting exports and farm productivity, climate change and growth, as well as technology as a driver of productivity and growth. Key speakers at the forum include Oxford University Professor of Economic Policy Stephen Dacon, Honorable Matia Kasaija, the Minister for Finance, Ramadhan Gobi, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Finance, the President of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, will be the chief guest. The 7th Economic Growth Forum will broadcast live on UBC TV and the Finance Ministry communication platforms with the hashtag #7EGFUG.
Upgrade your lifestyle with the all-new entry-loaded Chillax voice bundles. Now, call all networks in Uganda with Chillax voice bundles. Call all networks, no expiry, no worries. Dial *100 *1# and select call all networks. Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Welcome back from the break, and now into the business scene. The Commissioner, Crop Protection, Ministry of Water and Environment, Stephen Byantwali, has advised vanilla farmers to mind the quality of their produce. Byantwali was opening the first ever National Vanilla Multi-Stakeholders Dialogue in Kampala.
Uganda's vanilla export clocked 69.746 tons, fetching the country at least $8.72 million. Uganda's competitors include Madagascar at 37%, Indonesia at 29%, China at 11%, Turkey at 4% produce, while Mexican Papua New Guinea together account for 7%.
People have needs, they have vanilla, but they don't access financial support. So sometimes our farmers, they lack school fees for their children, and eventually some of them, they end up selling vanilla when it is still premature.
Embeera nga gye tuyitamu okubeera nga tutuuka ku makungula ago tusanga obuzibu bungi naye ne tugenda okungula ng'ate ebbeeyi eri wansi nnyo. Tusaba gavumenti etuyambe beeyi ya vanilla ebeere nga eyongera okulinnyako.
An official from the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Dr. Stephen Byantwali, says the only way Ugandan farmers can compete on the global market is now to produce quality.
And when you go into details of this strategy, our leaders, including His Excellency the President, has guided that all we do in these value chains, in these commodities, the market should be the anchor. Therefore, what we produce, including vanilla, we must respect what the market demands and guide our farmers to produce commodities that access the markets worldwide. And to access these markets, the issue of quality, the issue of standards, the issue of volumes are critical.
Farmers also decried the challenge of pests and limited support from the government,
whereby those diseases, some of them are not actually known by the agronomists. So really we need a lot of research about pests and diseases that attack vanilla.
I implore the government through the Ministry of Agriculture to include vanilla in the priority enterprises, because government funding follows that line, development funding, NGOs, development partners tend to fund along the lines of government priorities.
Stephen Miantware, who is the Commissioner Crop Protection at the Ministry of Agriculture, says there is a good track record in vanilla growing in the country. Stakeholders in vanilla have held the first ever dialogue to discuss on how to deal an increase on their produce.
Because we need to know what is affecting the farmers at production level, what is affecting the transporters, what is affecting the processors, and what is affecting the exporters.
Kale nno nsaba abantu mwenna mwolina osobola okusimba embowabowa, funa embowabowa we ziri osimbe ku vanilla ono.
Bientwale officiated the meeting and emphasized the government's commitment to support farmers in the vanilla production.
So we shall continue supporting them on issues with the planting materials, supporting them certification, supporting them with the capacity building training, supporting them on ensuring meeting of quality and standards. And also we are the same people who certify when they are to be exported, and therefore we continue supporting them on market standards and quality.
Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
And now in the world of sports, all is set for the second edition of the Mount Rwenzori Tusker Light Marathon on the 2nd of September in Kasese District. It's expected to be graced by many star athletes, including globally renowned athletics commentator Rob Walker.
With a little over a week to the second edition of the Tusker Light Mount Rwenzori Marathon, Uganda Breweries Limited has unveiled the kit.
Get your kit. I hope you're jogging where you are. Like some of us, we are walking. so walk, jog. Let us meet at the Tusker Light Rwenzori Marathon.
Its design offers runners an ultimate experience and includes a t-shirt, running belt, hydration bottle, onto which will be added a medal.
I think there's a better organization. We have been working on with the teams on the ground 4 months on how to organize the route, the support that would be needed, getting the right partners and sponsors on board to ensure that we have the capacity to provide things like water, for instance. We are very happy with the Rwenzori water is part of this journey. So all the right partners are coming on board. Airtel making sure that we have connectivity on the run, and the banks coming on board, continuing to support the green agenda as well, and just giving us more and more capacity to showcase this beautiful region of Uganda.
This marathon aims to foster a healthy lifestyle amongst Ugandans as they celebrate and promote sports tourism, as well as to highlight climate preservation. Equator Heights' Amos Wekesa says there is excitement ahead of the marathon that has grown from 800 to 2,000 participants expected and now cuts across Kasese and beyond.
The idea about this Rwenzori Marathon is to empower economically the people in the area of the Rwenzori ranges. Wallowing in poverty, this is something we want to change as a country. As we speak right now, of course, we've got people registered from about 13 different countries. We're hoping that next year we can go to maybe 40, 30 different countries that will be represented. We want this marathon to be the marathon that pioneers bringing people into Uganda, just like you see all other activities that we've been associated with.
Competition is expected in 5, 10, 21 and 42 kilometers. The newly designed 42-kilometer route through the Queen Elizabeth National Park and across the equator with the scenic views of Mount Rwenzori will spice the event.
All the runners globally should be putting the Tusker Light Rwenzori Marathon on their calendar and saying, I have to run in Uganda and it has to be in that beautiful location. And that gives us the momentum to raise the profile of our beautiful tourism attractions in the country, our great hospitality, our fantastic food. We are going to be able to showcase all of this at this session, and that we hope and believe will continue to grow the community in that region.
Several partners including Standard Chartered Bank, Airtel and Unilever are also on board. John Barnes Sentamo, UBC News.
And with that, our first edition of UBC News Tonight comes to an end. Thank you so much for your company. Do join us on our second edition at 10 p.m. I'm Loreen Masika Kazimoto. See you then at 10.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The family of Honorable Engineer Irene Nafuna Moloni, the woman member of Parliament, Bulamboli District, announces the untimely death of her beloved husband, Mr. Felix Stephen Wabudeya Moloni, who passed away on 22nd August 2023. There will be a vigil at their residence in Naguru tomorrow, 24th August 2023. There will be a Requiem Mass at Christ the King Church in Kampala on Friday, 25th August 2023 at 9 a.m. Thereafter, the body will leave for Mbale. There will be another Requiem Mass on Saturday, 26th August 2023 at St. Austin Church in Mbale at 8 a.m. and another at St. Daniel Catholic Church, Bujinyanya. Burial will take place on Sunday, 27th August 2027 at Buyaga, Bulamboli District, beginning with the Mass at 10 a.m. Informed are His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and Mama, the Vice President, the Speaker of Parliament, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, the Right Honourable Prime Minister, the Secretary General of NRM, members of Parliament, friends, relatives, and